Hey, everybody, it's another Tuesday night, and where are you? You're at the Black Cat Lounge. It's where the elite meet next to the dumpster transfer station here in lovely downtown Depew, New York. Whether you like it or not, you're here. And thank you all for being here. I'm kind of excited about it. We have a great guest tonight. Super. I can't wait. Oh my God, I can't wait. Wait a minute. I have to touch my head. Yes, she's here tonight. It's going to be great. Anyway, before we bring on our guest, I always like to ask, how's everybody doing out there? How's everybody doing? Is everybody doing good? Everybody's worried about the new COVID thing that's coming on, the Delta virus and all that. The more I read about it, if you're vaccinated, you're about 98, 95, 98% protected. And now the CDC, of course, is backing off and they're talking if you're going to these different locations that you wear a mask. All I got to say is do what you got to do. Do what you got to do. I wear masks. I'll tell you why I like to wear masks. It reminds me of like I'm a bank robber and I put a mask on and I go into Aldi's and I look around and I'm going, hey, you don't know who I am. I could be robbing you if I want. Sort of a fun thing to do. That's why I wear a mask. Not for anything else. But you know what? As a matter of fact, I think I'm just going to keep wearing masks. I like it. What I want to do is I'm going to wear a full mask, like a Frankenstein mask, with the mask over the top of it. I think that would be fun. Anyway, I'm excited. I got to tell you, we're going to have some fun. I got to tell everybody out there that I'm flying out this Thursday morning for a super secret filming. I can't wait to see some old friends. I get a chance to go to a location that I'm just going to say, I don't know if I'm allowed to tell you where I'm going just yet. I'll ask them when, next or Thursday when I see them, the production crew. I wanted where I'm going back to is one of my favorite locations. I had a peak experience there. I know I've talked about it before, and you guys, I'm sure, can read between the lines, but I can't wait. We're going to do Ouija experiments. We're going to do dowsing rod experiments. We're going to do maybe a seance along with a paranormal investigation. And then guess what? Then I fly back Friday. That is what's being a superstar is all about, babies. No, I'm not a superstar, but it's fun. It's going to be interesting. And I'm so thankful that really, seriously, they humbled me by asking me to be a part of this project. And it's amazing. It's amazing. Now, really quickly, I want to bring on our guest really soon, but I want to show some people some stuff. I was out today, and one of my favorite stores is the dollar store, and I'm always looking for stuff that I can use for filming, or if I'm out doing paranormal investigations. See this book light? It's a buck. It's a buck. It's fantastic. If you use like, okay, you're using a camcorder, and you're on a platform, this is fantastic. It's not bright, but it's bright enough. And if you're worried about the white light, you can just take a Sharpie and just go and color it. That's all. Just color the top and back, and it works great. I don't know how long this will last, but for a buck, who cares? Reach down, open up those wallets, let the moths come out. I got to tell you, I was impressed by this. I picked this up and I was playing around with it with my camera platforms. I have a great IR illuminator that I use for my professional work. Tell you what, for $1, buy it. Now, something else I have. You guys know I'm crazy about Ouija, and you know, I'm super crazy about automatic writing planchets. And I've made them and I've used them and we've talked about them on the show. I got one I bought on eBay and I'm not real thrilled with it, but it works. Let me see if I can get that right. It's a plastic planchet, looks like a commercial made, and somebody drilled a hole in it, stuck a pen in there, and they have a rubber band holds the pen in, and it kind of sits like this, and you put your hands on it and let it go. And we all know that you're the antenna, so you're actually directing this. And when it works in the same principle as the writing planchets, but it's not as smooth. It definitely is not as smooth uh, as the the wheel, all your wheel bearing ones and the old antique ones. But this is one I overpaid for, but it's nice to be able to buy this stuff and be able to put it in the collection. And finally, I got to show you this one. I don't know if I showed you this. I was like thrilled. You know how I am, like I love collecting esoteric games. I like collecting anything esoteric. Well, anyway, look at these. Look at these guys. Gypsy Queen, fortune telling cards, 1950. I paid not that much for them. Look at these. Are these not beautiful? Look at the graphics on them. And on the bottom, of course, they have the meanings of each card. This is cool. This is cool. I remember cards like this when I was a kid. Now, I remember the old Gypsy Witch ones. The Gypsy Witch ones are a lot of fun. And especially if you're first starting, you're just starting out working with cards, are always good. But look at these. This is awesome. This is awesome. I couldn't believe when I got this. This is fantastic. This is one of those things that makes me happy inside. And the other thing I want to tell everybody before we bring our guest on, if you're looking for a place that has everything in one shop, you're looking for taxidermy, you're looking for asylum, you're looking for medical, you're looking for Ouija boards, you're looking for cards, you're looking for crazy stuff, Cleveland, I'll just tell you, Cleveland Curiosities is one of those places that's just, it's just phenomenal. It's just phenomenal. I absolutely love it. And I have to go back because I have to go back to the Buckland Museum. You guys know I had that gallery. I shared the gallery, and there's a couple of pieces that I left up there by accident. So by accident, it's sort of like going and meeting a girl, going over to her apartment for the first time, and leaving your galoshes in the front hallway. So you have an excuse to go back and say, "Oh, hi, I have to get my galoshes. And by the way, would you like to go to dinner tomorrow?" That's the way it works. But anyway, I'm going to go back up there. And when I go up there, there's a couple spots I really want to see. And I want to stop at, and Cleveland Curiosities is another one. So anyway, now I have to go, and I want to read this. This intro does not do my guest justice. I'm going to come right out and say, absolutely not. It just doesn't go and give and bring justice to her. Judy Hartke is one of Western New York's most versatile metaphysical workers. Seriously, I'm impressed by her because I tell my students that you need to go and you need to practice and you need to be versatile. You can't be a one-trick pony. You have to get out there and you have to do several things in order to be well-rounded. Oh my God, Judy's unbelievable. She's an accomplished artist. We have examples of art. We're going to bring it up. Whose charcoal and pencil images of nature, of the natural world, are breathtaking. That's the only way I can describe them. They're breathtaking. She's also an amazing. I have not met anybody that has ever said anything bad about Judy's readings. She's an amazing medium and she's an amazing healer. She's a sought-after instructor. She's a speaker who is constantly pushing the walls of her profession. You can't get any better than that. Also, she is a spirit artist. This fascinates me because I always kid, and I kidded with her that the only thing I can draw is flies on a hot day. But she is a great artist, and she's a spirit artist who, through a combination of her mediumship and artistic talents, share drawings of loved ones who are now on the other side of the veil. That's awesome. That is so cool. I remember as a kid, that was far more prevalent than it is now. Of course, mental mediumship is all the rage, and anything that has to do with physicality is not as encouraged, depending on the church you belong to or the tradition you belong to. Lastly, Judy is a master in the field. Are you ready? Of biogenesis, which we are going to talk about. I found it fascinating. I did some reading up about it. I mean, I knew what it was, but I really never really delved into it, and it's great. And biogenesis actually is an intensive energy work that aids in the achieving of positive changes within your life, and it's designed to bring forth positive spiritual, emotional, and physical uh, traditions and talents, and get you out of those blocks. That is worth its weight in gold. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages, please welcome to the Black Cat Lounge a good friend and someone who I was just so thrilled that she could take the time out of her busy schedule to come on and talk. Please welcome Ms. Judy Hartke, the fantastic Judy Hartke. Hello, Judy. How are you?
Hello,
Thank you for
Tim.
being
Hello,
on.
everyone. Thank you so much. That was, I'm going to have to read that if I'm having a bad day or listen to that. Thank you for the intro.
Well, it's only, come on, Judy. It's only true. It's only true. You're one of those, you know what? You're one of those people here in Western New York that a lot of people really want to go and work with, learn from. And I got to tell you what, you're one of the most humblest people that I've met in the field, because, and don't give me that. Don't roll the eyes at me, young lady, because of the fact that, the best teachers are really the most humble, and you really are. You're not humble to the point of having a fractionated ego where, it's like, well, I don't know, you're not doing the olive, I love Popeye type thing. You get out there and you know your stuff, and it shows, and that's what people really, really respond to. So anyway, I got to tell everybody, and I told Judy off air, this is going to be the easiest interview that I have done in many, many years. Why, you may ask? Because see this? There's 2 pages of questions. Almost all of them are not from me. They're all from the Judy Hartke fan club of Buffalo, New York, and all points east, west, north, and south. So, Judy, are you ready? And by the way, everybody, I'm going to try to monitor the chat room. So if you guys have questions, put them in there, and I'll try to get to them. It's I'm a one-man band here, so what we're gonna, if I can catch them, I'll definitely catch them, and we'll ask Judy. So, Miss Judy, are you ready to start? Are you ready to? Oh, the Black Cat Lounge is just like vibrating for you to be out here and just being a part of us.
Well, thank you for inviting me. Thanks for having me. You're the host with the most, as I said on Facebook.
Oh yeah, and I have great hair. Anyway,
I love your hair.
Let me ask you this. Now this stuff. This is someone who sent this message in. Let's start right off at the beginning. Okay, let's start right off at the beginning, because this is also a question I get a lot, because a lot of people love backstories, and I'm one of them too. But people see us, like you and I, at a level that we're at, but they don't know anything about what brought us to that level. So let's just go, and let me ask you this. First off, what came first, your artistic abilities or your mediumship? That's a great question. I'm like all jazzed up to hear that answer.
That is a really good question. When I was young, like kindergarten, I was selling little drawings for $1, a penny a piece in my class. So I've always been this Capricorn artist kind of person. But I was also hearing spirit at that time. So it was pretty much the same. I had both going on at the same time. And so
awesome.
Long story short, when I grew up and I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up, I ended up being an artist. And then I walked away from all the spiritual stuff early. And then that came in after I was an artist. So
that's awesome. Now, this also goes, this is another question that goes along with it. See, I try to go and make a flow of this stuff. I almost know what I'm doing, Judy. I'm almost knowing. Don't quote me on that though. Okay. Let me ask you this. Do you feel that your metaphysical training and abilities have helped you in your artistic career? I already know the answer to that one, but I want to hear what you got to say.
They absolutely did, but I didn't know. I had no idea that I was being helped, because when you're not tapped in, or you think you're not tapped in, you don't know where the information's coming from, and you don't know how it's unfolding for you. You just think you should go to this show, or you think you should do this, or whatever. And you do it. And then as you get into this realm, you kind of recognize when things come in or coincidences happen, or you know what I mean? You just have more of a recognition of what's going on. So yeah.
Do you feel often, do you feel that now when you see something that you want to create, when if you see an image that you want to paint, you want to draw, is it something that you feel is almost innate within you where you're drawn to it? And the reason why I'm saying this, because I know myself, having taken natural awareness with Tom Brown Jr. at the Meg Institute, Rhinebeck, New York, we were taught in order to do anything, we have to have this draw. We have to be brought to it. We have to surrender ourselves sometimes. And it's almost as if we stumble upon it purposely. Is that sort of what happens with you now?
Yeah, boy, that's a good question. I will say I live the opposite way I was told to live. If you were going into business for yourself, you're taught to have a business plan and do this and do this and do this. And the way I live, not just business, but everything is I have no plan. I do what unfolds in front of me, and people come in and they bring you to new experiences. I mean, I have a sense of what turns me on, like what makes me excited and happy, and I think about it a lot. I mean, we all know how to manifest, I'm sure, and I use that a lot these days. Like I think about what I want, and when I think about what I don't want, it always shows up. So I'm really working at that hard now. Yeah, when I have a feeling of something I want, I follow it, and things just unfold. And
That That's
yeah.
amazing. That's amazing. Because a lot of times what happens is, I know myself, uh, and you really kind of hit the nail on the head, manifestation. It's like attracts like, and a lot of people only consider that as like person to person, interpersonal relationships. I found like attracts like with the natural law extends into inanimate objects, or
Oh yes.
or if you're like,
Tell a
looking
little
for
story.
something. Yeah, I want
I
to hear
don't
your
know.
story. This is
Okay.
why you're on, because I can't wait. I don't care if we get all the questions. And Judy, I'm just listen. I'm just enthralled that you're here. Take the show over. It's all yours now.
I love to. But the manifestation stuff is hilarious. Like COVID, I wish no one any harm. It was tough for a lot of people. I get that. So I would not want it back. But for me, it was quiet and creative time. And there were parts of it that were just amazing. And life has hit full bore again. So you're running here and running there and kind of a little more stressed and just too much to do. And I caught myself thinking and picturing just sitting still and reading a book and having that time to do that and not having to go anywhere and just being in my house. And within a couple of days, this smoke came along, and I'm very allergic to smoke, and I can't even leave my house. Like if I leave to go to the store, I come back and I'm having an attack. So I got it. In a couple of days, I got exactly what I asked for. I was reading a book the other day. So that's how cool things are, with manifestation.
I love the fact because again, I mean, I was brought up in the stodgy era back in the 70s where they were teaching outdated stuff. They were out teaching outdated, dogma. And I think the problem is it's almost like a Catholic getting taught catechism. It doesn't resonate properly until you actually actuate into it, where you actually live it, and then it comes to you, and then it slowly sinks in. And it's funny because I didn't come to that realization until, I don't know, probably maybe 10 years ago. And it's wonderful. Now, wait a minute. I got a question from the audience. Wendy asked Judy, did you find that spirit distracted you when you were in school, or did you have better control of it by high school? And we went to school together.
Yes, we did. That's such a good question. I actually, by the time I was in like fifth or sixth grade, I had put it in a closet, like crammed it down The voices were still, they were in my head, and I was not paying attention, cramming it down. So by the time I got to high school, I was totally normal. Not into this whatsoever. Yeah. In fact, I went for animal science instead of art because I thought artists were too ungrounded, too flaky, too spiritual. So I went to hang out with farmers. That's what I wanted to do.
That's fantastic.
Just to stay grounded.
It's funny because I think it's important for us as metaphysical workers to turn our backs on it for a while. And I mean, I was back in like 72 is when I got introduced into the Lilydale Assembly and, went to visit relatives and, it really caught fire in me. And then I turned it off for years. I mean, for years, I didn't do anything. And then it just came back, So I think it's good because I think what happens with us is we're able to go and we're able to get that experience, all that extra experience. And when we do our readings, when we do our healing, we can draw on all these experiences, the emotions of the experiences, everything, the vibrations of the experiences. We can bring that out. And I think that's why it's so important. And what is Wendy right here? Wait a minute. Wendy's got something else here. She's got it right. And she's always been an amazing artist. Well, you are. Well, hold on. Let me
thank you.
Listen. Let me listen. I got to go and let me put a couple drawings up. Here's one that blew me away. That's unbelievable.
Hey, Tim, I picked that one for you.
Did you?
I seriously did. I picked that one for you because I don't know why I just thought like this one.
Well, I love it. I mean, I can't believe it. When you sent it to me, I first thought to myself, what is she sending me? She's sending me a photograph, and that's what I thought that was when I first saw it. Isn't that gorgeous?
Lilac-breasted roller.
Oh, I love that. I love it. Now, Now the next picture or the next drawing I'm going to go and I'm going to put up there goes along with the question of this comes from somebody that you know.
All right.
You are a world traveler. What location has inspired you the very most? And everybody take a look at this. Oh my God, look at that. That is gorgeous.
That place is just amazing. It's like an addiction, It's just I don't know if you ever saw the movie Out of Africa. That's it, Except it's it's a little more populated than back then, but it's just an amazing place. Yeah.
I always when I was younger, I always wanted to go to Kenya because I was one of those kids that read Born Free and all the accompanying books, the series. Yeah. So I always wanted to go there whenever they had the special. Oh yeah. Do you remember all the specials they used to have? Where they would go out there and he'd be sleeping with these wild lions. It was just an amazing. That to me was amazing. I thought it was to be able to have gone there and live that had to be mind blowing. So is Africa the most inspiring place that you've been to in all the world? I know listen, I cheated. I read your bio. I know that you've been to a couple places. What was Paris like for you?
Paris was awesome. Paris is overwhelming with art, and so you cannot take it all in. You can't take it all in. I mean, if you spend 4 or 5 hours a day, you can't do much more than that, and that'll only get you one museum. And there's I don't know how many museums. So Paris it's just amazing. It's exactly what they say it is. There's something about it. It's got a vibe, an aura. Not to mention the food. It's just amazing. It was.
I love it.
I would go back, but there's so many other amazing places to see, right? So why visit the same place twice, right? Unless you really want to.
Listen, I go to Lackawanna like once a week, whether I need it or not. So,
I love Lackawanna, the Vietnamese place. That do you know what place I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do.
It's awesome.
I go to Lackawanna. I go to Hamburg. So I pass through Lackawanna, usually going to Hamburg for drumming, but that's another story. Anyway, here's another question that's coming up. Okay, I'm just rereading it the way because she wrote it a different way, so I want to paraphrase it for you. We mediums have a pinnacle moment, a peak moment or experience that inspired us to push the boundaries of our, and I'll go like this, quote unquote, normal realities. Did you have such a moment? This is a hard one. I know I would have hard. It would be tough for me to answer this one. Did you
I
have
don't know
such
how
a
to
moment?
answer. Yes,
Was there one thing?
but
Okay, I'm
so
interested.
many. There's many of them, so I don't know which one. I'll pick my first moment, and it got me into this. Was long story short, I'll try and make it really condensed. I was supposed to go to my brother's wedding in California, and I had already paid for an art show, and I got really stubborn about it. I don't know why. That's not normally me. I'm a little stubborn, but not that much. So I went to the art show, and at the art show, someone handed me a card, and it was for this guy, Randy Feige. He does energy work, and he does biogenesis. So he's like, oh, I did a really cool thing, and handed me the card. Well, I ended up going for the biogenesis, and in that session, this is not really mediumship, I guess. This is spiritual. But in the session, I had been a normal person trying to run from this stuff for decades, or at least a couple decades. And in that session, I started seeing dead people, hearing voices, knowing stuff. Just everything came in with like somebody opened barn doors. And so that was my turning point in my life and my pinnacle of my spiritual experience. And then for mediumship experience, one of my first readings, a woman had, and I think I put it in a little article I wrote once, and it's out there on the web somewhere, that this woman had been going to healers and yoga, or not yoga, healers, counselors, psychologists, all kinds of things, tried drugs. She had had a terrible time where, just saying really general, because I don't like to talk about people's readings, but her husband and she were going through a divorce after like 30 years of being married, a long time. And he said he didn't love her said he didn't love her as they were going through this divorce. They had kids together. And she didn't think that was true, but it got in her head that it was true. And it was an ugly divorce. And then he died from a heart attack. And she'd been looking for healing all those years. And in the session, he came in and described every little detail of her time in a certain part of her house so that she knew it was him. And then he said, I've always loved you and I always will. And that was the pinnacle. That's what kind of sent me down this road of I want to do more of this.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like we can help people. It's not just entertainment. It is entertainment, but it can change people's lives in a very positive way.
Now see, I agree. I want to go and I want to kind of touch on that. The ethics of how we have to work.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a 30-second break to pay some bills, and we'll be right back with the amazing, because Judy Hartke is just not Judy Hartke. We have to now call her the amazing Judy Hartke, because now on her cards she has to have there amazing. So her first name now is Amazing. Anyway, we'll be right back after this quick break.
Okay.
The Black Cat Lounge is sponsored by Paranormal Oddities, The Little Store with the Big Heart, Buffalo Phantom Hunters, Patronus Photographic for all of your photography and design needs, Nancy's Sewing Room, masks, aprons, purses, and more, and Wild Raven Candles for those magical times.
And welcome back. That was quick. Now, I have a really important question. And Judy, I mean, this is something that I don't wrestle with, because of the fact that the way I was brought up and taught, it's a little bit different. I'm not like big on sensationalism, because of the fact that I shouldn't say that, because I'm pretty sensational when I get out there in the world, when I got jazz hands and I'm running around the casino. But as a reader, as a medium, how important is it to, one, watch what we're saying so that we don't create self-fulfilling prophecies, and two, really try to empower the client that's in front of you? Because yourself, there's some people that come to us that are really in pain. So, how would you answer that?
I'd say that's the hardest part of what I do. Probably the hardest part of what a lot of people do, that do this find. I take it really, really seriously. And it's kind of, I wouldn't call it a burden, but I really think about it a lot because when you're talking about relationships, um, I mean, most of us that are listening to this probably had readings, and I've been influenced by readings when it comes to relationships and big things in my life. You can't get it out of your head once it's said. So I almost forgot the thread of the original question, but I just take it very seriously, and there's no easy answer with that. I just always try to, if I have to say this is for entertainment purposes only, when I'm getting into something deep, I will, just to remind them, that they've got to take this as a piece of the information, not as the whole thing. And so I'll say it right when I'm getting into the deep part. Like, remember, this is not, you've got to make your own decisions. You've got to live your own life, but this is what I feel. So I do repeat that a lot in my readings.
Well, you have to.
Yeah.
You have to. Angela. Hey, Angela, how are you? I haven't seen you in a while. Thanks for stopping in. It's so important to empower the client, to let them leave feeling some hope. It's all about the healing. And I agree.
I agree.
I mean, I don't know if you knew this about me, but I never wanted to be a medium. Did you know that? I never did. Never did. Never. It was like, no. I don't want to be that guy that's up there going, I gotta come to you, lady, in the podiums and stuff. And it's so funny. I was chosen as a gallery reader because I had a big mouth, but I actually came back to this through healing, like through Reiki and stuff. That's how I actually came back into the ball game, into the mediumship game. And one of the big things that I was taught, and Sharon Klingler, who I still consider as my mentor, she goes, you know what? You got to go and be careful how you phrase things, and you really need to go and be able to empower people. Let them understand that hope is there. Let them understand that their loved ones are still with them, because that's your main thing. You're a medium, trying to reinforce the whole philosophy of the change called death. And you can't go and chew these people out like in a time limit if there's still problems. And that's the one thing I never charge for it. And I do get a lot of them, like at believe it or not, at the casinos, I get a lot of crisis readings. I really do.
Oh, I bet you do.
I mean, it's amazing. It shocks me sometimes. But I never charge for crisis readings. I will never take any money for that, because that's part of my job to do that. And same with, even if I'm doing one-on-ones, which I do like very seldom here in Western New York. I just don't do them that often. And I never would do that. So it's so important that people understand that, so people understand that. Now, I got another question from one of your fan club. Really? I got to be, you know what? I would just want to be the vice president. I don't even want to be president. Vice president of the amazing
your fan club.
my fan club. No, I wouldn't hang out with anybody that would be in my fan club. Believe me. I've seen some of the people that would want to be in my fan club. Anyway, in your mediumship, do you use all of this is another air quote, do you use all of your psychic senses, or is it more one than other? And I'll just clarify, I believe that they're talking about, like, I use clairvoyance a lot, but I also clairaudient a lot, Do you use like everything that, like, are you one of those people that like have trained yourself to be like all encompassing and be able to go and read the energy that's hitting you and being able to interpret that energy that comes through?
I try to just like cast my spidey senses out in a wide net, and
perfect.
Definitely mostly clairvoyant and feelings. So it's visuals, it's feelings, and once in a while I get a few words, and it's mostly visual and feelings. And hilarious. Oh, analogies. I get these great analogies in my head. They're hilarious.
But that comes from experience. That's why it's important to be an experiencer in life. in order to be able to go and relate and bring those things through. I think that's what's so important.
Easily, yeah. You can't. It's hard to do when you're young because you don't have all the tools for spirit to work with as easily. I think, but not that they can't do it when they're 20. But...
And then when you get to be a geezer like me, I got all sorts of I have experiences that are just oozing out of me right now. But we'll talk about that.
Is a tool.
I'm going to go to the doctor for that stuff. Anyway,
you got so many tools in your house.
No, I got too many. I'm looking at tools on the other side over here, and I just had a little shadow person just go boop boop. That's why I laugh when I see that stuff. So that's great. So now there's actually two of us interviewing you down here. Anyway, this is a good one. This is a great one. Oh, first of all, Sarah is written there. Sarah Carr. Analogies are awesome. I always get them. You know what? I'm envious of people that can get analogies and names. I get I get feelings and the general identifiers, but names, I can usually get like the sound of the first letter of the name, and that's it. That's just the way I am. Yeah, but I think that's I'm going to be honest with you. I think that's my man brain, because I am like terrible at remembering names. I'm terrible. So I think that's like a psychological thing with me more than anything else. What do you think?
Mm-hmm. I think that's true. I don't do names either. And when I was in kindergarten, I would take till like June to remember everyone's name, and I never could remember names. It's one of my worst things. So I don't get names. I don't do names. It's just off the table.
Okay, I'm just watching the time so we can talk about biogenesis because that's fascinating to me. That's fascinating to me because I mean a lot of people we've talked on the show about Reiki, and you're a Reiki master, and but biogenesis is something that a lot of people really don't know that much about. So I want to go and I want to make sure that we have more than enough time to talk about that. So I want to just put this out there. This is a great question. So that's the way it started. So, is there anything in the esoteric world that scares you or makes you feel uneasy? That's a good one. With me, nothing really bothers me except something that jumps out in front of me, and then I go and poop my pants, and the game's over. I got to go home. So what is it about you? Is there something out there that maybe makes you... I love when people ask me that question because I have to be honest. I mean, nothing really bothers me, but something jumps out at me, I'm done. You know what? I could just fall over and like pass right out. I hate that stuff because it just, that and the fact that I don't like the dark.
With you. You don't like the dark?
No.
That's hilarious.
No, I hate the dark. Are you kidding me?
You get the Ouija board under halogen lights or whatever. You do in the dark kind of thing, don't you?
You know what? I grew up during the at the tail end of there's two golden ages in spiritualism: the golden age of the growth of spiritualism and the golden age of fraud. And I grew up at the tail end of the golden age of fraud, where I saw these guys doing the billet readings, and there a lot of these they were just carny tricks, is what they were doing, and I learned how to do them, just by watching them. And I refuse to do seance in total darkness. It has to have a red, green, or blue lights so that it's got to be illuminated. I don't like anything in total darkness because I don't trust anything. I don't trust my fellow psychics. I don't trust fellow paranormal investigators. I don't trust these things. Second of all, I'm not the most graceful thing. I'm like an albatross out there. I walk into stuff, I fall down, but I don't like the dark. It's just something about the dark that I don't know why. It could be from, if I believe in reincarnation, could be something that happened in a German submarine that we'll talk about some other day. But it's
creepy. That's creepy.
But it is creepy. So, what is it about you? Is it just like something jumping out at you, or what? Here, let me go and even make this harder for you.
Uh-oh. You're being good to me.
I promise. No. This is a great question. Okay. At least I think so. energy wise, is there anything that makes you
Oh,
uneasy? Because I know I've
that's
walked
really
in.
different.
Oh my God. Because, again, exorcists always have told me, you get in there, something in your solar plexus, you know that there's something negative in wherever you're going or whatever. It's called the gift of discernment. The minute I get that, I know that there's something there, man. Now my spidey senses are on high. What is it energy wise? What is
Okay,
it that
so
really kind of.
I'll say in my own work, I'm not afraid of anything because I feel like I'm very focused in a certain level and I stay there. So I don't generally pick up a lot of anything I'd be worried about. And I'm not worried about it anyway. Like I feel that they cannot do anything. The energy can't really do anything to you. They can't pick up a hammer, right? So I always kind of stay up this way and I don't look down. When it comes to energy itself, like when I'm not if I'm connecting with someone or something, it doesn't bother me. I'm great. No worries in my general wherever I go. But walking into like a haunted house or clearing houses, I won't do. I don't go looking for it. It is like living in a nice, beautiful place surrounded by people you love versus going looking under a rock for the most horrible thing you can look for. I'm not going to do that. So yeah, that stuff would creep me out, but I don't go there. I'm just a no-go, not looking, not clearing houses, kind of gal.
Nothing
So
wrong with
big
that.
boundaries. Yeah.
People don't. I have to say, and this is something that just drives me insane. I just want to slap some of these people in the back of the head. Just because you're sensitive doesn't mean that you're going to go in there and clean this house. Doesn't mean that you're ready to be able to do this stuff. Doesn't mean that you want to do this stuff. If you don't really want to do that, if you don't really want to go into these houses to really clean them, if you don't really want to go into these places where, I mean, I've been pushed and scratched and, all that stuff, all that happy horse stuff, over the years. If you're not ready for it, you don't do it. You just don't do it. I mean, I'm fortunate.
Dozens of people about you. Like call Tim Shaw. Call Tim Shaw. He'll go get the nasties out.
Well, no, I mean, seriously, when you go and you do this stuff, you got to be careful. And I mean, I've had some great teachers over the years. I mean, Zaffis and, a lot of the exorcists and Adam Bly down in Pittsburgh and, so, I mean, I've really been able to go and really hang with some great people. So you don't do that. And I give you so much credit for that because, what bothers me more than anything else is that people go and by going in there and not doing a good job, they create a void where even more negativity can come in there. Because me, I'm not an angel or demon guy. I'm all energy. So, I mean, you create that void by going in there and trying to clear it without really knowing what you're doing. And you can open up a poor can of whoop ass on these people that they just don't deserve, But I see it, I mean, I'm not there. You know what? I have about 6 people that I go and I refer these, cases to now. And it's just like, and the other thing is if they're too hungry for it, they're gone. Because I get people that just give me all the negative cases. I'm thinking to myself, oh yeah, okay. Yeah. In 5 years, tell me about what your body feels like, but, okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, yourself. I mean, if you start doing work in negative cases, it affects your body. It affects your energy. It manifests. And I always tell people, I got, with what I have and all the surgeries and stuff I've had over the years, I really think it was something, that I may have picked up. And I've talked to some knowledgeable people and they all said the same thing. It's not an attachment or anything. It's just the energy that when you face that energy all the time,
drains your battery.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Now, okay, enough about me. Let's talk about
keep it.
Listen, okay, let's talk about biogenesis because I kind of know what it is, but a lot of people are like afraid when when you go and you say that, automatically every science fiction, movie they've ever heard comes through their minds and everything. And that's not at all what it is. It's a great tool. No. So tell everybody what it's all about. Okay,
I'll have to make short version of this too. it is Genesis energy, the light of creation, and it is an energy that's placed in glass tools. They're just simple plain glass tools. They have a little bit of sacred geometry to them, and each tool has the same energy, and there's many, many tools, but each one, because of their shape, does something different. And so they work with people's systems with their energy to bring the highest and the best. So it can be on any level. I've seen anything from past life healing to physical healing, spiritual, emotional, mental, as well as bringing people things that they desire. So a healing session is where you would just lay down on a table and you would have a process done over you. And you're not touched by the practitioner. And you have tools laid on you. And then there's also all of these other things that you can do. Oh gosh, now that I'm speaking of it, I can't think of the name of it. It's called the nectar of life. There's this saying, you do nectar of life, and it's just meditating with the tools and doing this little process, and it's creating what you want to create in your life. And I have to speak to it being, it works, 90% of the time. I haven't gotten every single thing I ever wanted, but once I started using these tools, it was a huge shift in my life. And I've just seen a lot of amazing things happen with clients. And I do Reiki, and Reiki's awesome. I would never say, that is not a tremendous way to do healing. It is. My experience with biogenesis was that it was, some people have called it Reiki on steroids. It's just a really different, powerful kind of energy, but it's not overwhelming. And it doesn't bring more than you're ready for, at least in my experience. And what else can I say about this? You can just buy tools to have in your home. I bought this little pyramid. Actually, it's over on this side of the room. I'd grab it if I could, but Sarah, thank you. I see that. Just having one little tool, it's like potato chips. You can't just have one. So if you try one, then you'll be getting others. And it doesn't take a lot to be able to do energy work yourself, biogenesis energy work. It's very easy to learn. I mean, there's a lot of information on it, so you could learn endlessly on it, or you can just find the basic tools and do a basic session, use your intuition, and you're good to go. So it's very flexible that way. You don't have to learn everything about it, or you can.
Here's something that people really don't understand, and this is old knowledge. This is old school stuff. Back when I was growing up, if you had a spirit trumpet or something you're going to use on a normal basis with seance, you would go and basically put it underneath your bed and sleep over the top of it, or you would keep it with you, whatever. Now, the reasoning behind it was your energy meshed or inhabited that tool, in order to go so it worked best with you. People don't realize that everything is made up of energy, right? Everything's made up of energy. And these tools are vibrating. They're living. They're not inanimate, just objects, dead objects. The tools that you use, now correct me if I'm wrong, because I am very often wrong. These tools are energized. These tools are vibrating at a high frequency, and of course, they're working with the practitioner to achieve the best possible result. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely correct. And they also uniquely do not absorb your energy. So they never absorb energy. They only radiate energy.
Oh, yep, so actually,
they don't
absorb the practitioner's energy. They absorb. They have energy of their own.
They only radiate. I clean it with like Clorox glass just because of the COVID thing. I keep everything.
Yeah, that's fascinating.
But yeah, they never absorb. Yep.
They're
good for. They say 500 years, so you don't have to worry about them running out of juice either.
Now, do you think that they have to attune to you? Like get used to you?
No. I could take someone off the street and tell them how to do a session, and they could do it. In fact, I've had people do that on me, and
Wow.
it's a good session. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they
That's
do all the
amazing.
tools do all the work, and the practitioner is kind of, it's nice for a practitioner to see what's going on or get a sense and share that with you. I feel my job is to be like the conduit and, explain what I think's going on, but the tools do it.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I seriously, I've got to come for a session. I really do, because this fascinates
Oh,
me. I'll tell you what, I love energy healing. I truly, truly, I think energy healing got me through a lot of the physical problems that I've had over the years. And I would love to have something that is like so like kick ass steroid, like craziness that I think it would benefit me. So
come on out.
when I
You absolutely would.
listen, when I get done with filming and I look at my schedule, I really we've got to set up a schedule. We've got to set up something. We really
Okay.
do, because that
Absolutely.
fascinates me. That really does fascinate me. Now, you have something special coming up. And we're not just talking about you just hanging out. Your gallery, your one woman show.
Yeah.
This is going to be fantastic. This is
Yes.
literally, seriously.
Well,
I am so excited for you, because I know, like with my little thing that I did up in Cleveland, I was just blown away when I walked in there, and like my collections and stuff were on the walls, and I was like, oh, So I mean, I can't even imagine someone of your creative genre where you are just like, you're a one-person show. It's all about you. It's sort of like this show, Judy. It's all about you today.
Well, the rest of the story with that is I am very much looking forward to it. It's a great place to have a show. Because of COVID, they made it smaller, and then they made it smaller, and now it's really small. So it's like this 10 by 10 room or 10 by 12 room. So it's going to be small, but I'm still glad to, very happy to have it. And it's in October, and I can't remember the date of the opening. October, I'd have to look. But I'll be posting it on my page. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It'll be probably 20 or 30 works.
That's awesome. That's gonna be fantastic. Make sure you post it so I can share it with all the listeners here, because I'm gonna tell you what, everybody loves you, Judy, and you're just one of those nice people in the field. I love it. And what I remember, we were talking about just briefly. You had come, and thank you for coming to one of my galleries, and because I appreciate that
awesome.
more than you know, to have somebody of your caliber come in and see me dance around, But anyway, we talked.
I've never seen it work before.
Listen. That's a 9 p.m. drunk gallery type thing that I was doing. You were
dead on all night long, Tim. You were great. It was awesome.
Anyway, make sure that, because you've got so many people that really want to support you and really want to come out and see that. So make sure that you post it and let me know so I can post it on like my stuff, and so we can get out there and share it. Now I got to ask you about spirit, because that was quick. That's a quick show. Yeah. Well, you know what, when you got a great guest. Hey, when you got a great guest, you get 1,001 questions, and you're not one of those guests that I went and I told you that we were talking about before.
That you just
no names. But anyway, we were talking at the gallery, and we, why I hadn't worked in Western New York for quite a while, probably a decade, and you said something that I was like, that's why I know that she's the real deal, and she's really down to earth and a great person. I don't listen to the drama. And I went, at that point, the heavens opened, and I was waiting for you to ascend into the heavens, because people don't do that very often.
And there's a few around here.
Oh yeah, there are, and I start, luckily, like attracts like, so I actually have found so many of them that actually goes and they do. But I thought that was fantastic. I value that. Now let me just, we have a few minutes, and I want to just ask you about the process of spirit art.
Yes.
I didn't even get a chance. I'm just going to show you, tell everybody about the process of spirit art, and I'm going to put a couple examples up on the
Okay.
screen.
Okay, so spirit art is, if anybody, if you've not seen it before, I guess it's done differently by many different people. But when I got into it, I purposely didn't study from other artists because I wanted to figure out my own. And so spirit art is just drawing people who are in spirit and don't have their body anymore. They are impressing what they used to look like on me as the artist or medium, and then I draw it. And I started doing mediumship, and I was working as an artist professionally full time, and I wanted to put the both together, and I would see people with my eyes standing next to a person who was alive. I'd see spirit standing next to a person who was alive, and I'd think, wish I could draw that. Duh. I actually thought that, and I'm like, wow, I can draw that. So the problem, if if anybody's tried art before, if you're trying to draw something like a hand or a shoe or a person, they have to stay there so you can draw them. Spirit doesn't stay anywhere, right? It's there for 2 seconds. So that didn't work, right? They'd show up, be like, oh, I can draw. Not enough time to even see what the nose looked like. So I was sitting in my studio doing some of these for clients, and I was so frustrated. I was just hating it. Hated what I was doing, but I knew Spirit was saying, this is the way, So I'm like, you guys have to show me. And I heard in my head, put the pencil down. It's easy. So I just put the pencil down and started going back and forth like this on the paper. And a face came in underneath the scratching, just like that. And you just feel it in the details. And I got to get out of the way. That's my job. Get out of the way, because they come in so perfectly. But I am not a printer. I'm always overdrawing the nose, or I get the line wrong, or I don't know about you, but the disbelief, like I have a hard time expecting it to be a child or someone who's young. So I struggle with that, but that's my job, is to get out of the way as much as I can. And the more I get out of the way, the more it's accurate.
It's just phenomenal. And really, someday I want to sit down and I want to really pick your brain on how to do that, because that is something that I've never been able to do. And it's one of those things that it's a calling that I've wanted to try my whole life. It's like spoon bending, I learned how to learn from.
You draw?
No, I don't draw.
You draw?
I can't. No, I can color almost within the lines. That's as close as I can get. We'll work with that. But seriously, we'll talk about it, and
we'll try that.
I see. This is what's nice about being a show host. That I can get a hold of Judy again. Go, hey, can you show me the stuff before the end of the show here? Tell everybody how they can get a hold of you if you have anything really coming up in the next weeks, months, whatever.
Okay,
just let everybody know.
Okay, Sarah Carr, Thursday, 12 to 5. Thank you so much, Sarah. She has the most amazing, beautiful place and energy. Love her and her crowd. And the art show. And what else do I have going on? I just do a lot of chop wood, carry water, actually, is what I'm doing right now. My number, I'll say my website, judithhartke.com, and you can find me on Facebook or 462-9174. So thank you so much, Tim. You're awesome. It's been great. Great working with you, and I appreciate it.
You're the best. You're the best. Stay on the line so I can thank you properly right after I get off the line. So just stay on for a couple more minutes. And again, Judy Hartke. She's the woman, the myth, the legend. We love her so much. Okay, we'll see you in just a little bit. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Hey, isn't she great? She's probably one of the greatest. I would say she's one of the greatest people in Western New York when it comes to metaphysics. And I just want to let everybody know out there, I'm so thankful that you guys stopped by tonight. And I hope you really had a great time. So before I go, I want to send healing out to my neighbor Lee. She tore muscles in her calf and her leg, and she's so active and she's so athletic, and she is a coach of girls field hockey and everything, and she's laid up. So everybody. Send some healing her way, because of the fact that she's just a great lady, and you know, being laid up like that is no fun. So anyway, see you next Wednesday. See you next Wednesday. See you next Tuesday here. Where else? Where the elite meet, next to the dumpster transfer station, here at the Black Cat Lounge. Ciao, babies. Bye-bye.
Hey, was my mic off?